Everybody, good morning online. Good morning, everybody in the office. Go ahead, grab your seat. Jason, this is the first time I think I've seen you something not branded.
Still the colors, though.
I know, I still got the colors though. Still got the colors.
Card, where's the branded card? Okay.
On my desk? All right. Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? All right, sounds good. All right. So we have some fancy 4K cameras that we're working on getting connected. But until we do, let's start with a tell me something good. What good is happening in your real estate businesses as of this week? Jason.
I got an escrow with
who?
Penny.
Boom. Well done. Yeah. Keeping it in the family. All right. Anybody else? Have anything you want to share? Clark?
I just brought a new team member on in Irvine.
Wow.
And very, very successful guy. He's licensed in California, Idaho, and he's also a judge. And so he's a member of the bar in Texas, which means he can do real estate in Texas.
Wow.
Very excited. We teamed up with a great team member through Brent down in Irvine area. Just very excited about it.
That's incredible. Well done. Awesome. And then Haley's not here today, but Haley in the last week has had four listings. She's had four listings in the last week. So she's rocking and rolling. She's trying to help the inventory crisis, one listing at a time.
That's to, and I tell me you need to do his listing presentation that you follow them around on for 50.
Yes, yeah.
Can we get him on the calendar to do it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he already talked to me. We're working on it. Yeah. He's a listing master.
Well, if you don't list, you don't last, right?
That's true.
That's well, the change is coming down the pipe.
Yeah. And how long have you been lasting for, Tom? What's your real estate story?
You know what? I lost count since I started when I was 12. I've actually been in the business 45 years.
Wow. That's a tell me something crazy right there.
Same year. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't realize that. Yeah, you're a spring chicken then. So, all right. Well, we didn't do our coming soons, but we are working on that. Are you able to bring up the Zen list? So Zen list, we had some questions. I think it was last week about that. Hey, where can we see the coming soons? Create a free profile. You can actually go into EXP Passport and you can create a free profile in Zen list if you're with EXP. And because EXP is like one global office, you have access to all the different coming soons in different markets. But that is where you will be able to see the coming soons. Okay, so it'll only be as good as what we put into it. So if it's just the Made for More team putting coming soons on there, it's only going to be the Made for More team on there. But if it is everybody else in this room putting their coming soons on there, it gets that much better. So
how's that a listing tool, Johnny? How do you use that when you're talking to a seller?
Thanks for the softball. So when you are going on listing appointments, you can say, hey, my office, we actually have a network of agents, thousands of agents locally who have access to this tool. Can we get rid of that echo? It's driving me crazy. So it might be me. Is it me? Echoing myself. So how it works on the listing presentation is, hey, I have this off-market tool. We can market your property to hundreds, if not thousands of agents locally. So that way, it's not only just me that you're working with, you're getting all these other agents working for you for free. Okay. And then you can bring them off market buyers. For example, there's a listing right now in Orangeville I'm working on. And she says, Johnny, I'm interviewing some other agents, but if you bring me a buyer, we're going with you. So what did I do? I hopped on the Zen list and I'm promoting this as much as I can. Okay. Cool. Did that answer your question?
That's it.
All right, Zenlist. And the best part about it is it's free. Zenlist does not cost anything. It's something you get access to with EXP. Got the coming soon. Tell me something good. Upcoming events. We have PCAR happening next week. We're flying in a speaker from, I forget what state he's in, Michigan. Thanks, Marguerite. We're flying a speaker from Michigan, and he is going to be speaking on how to generate more business. So raise your hand if you want more buyers. Raise your hand if you want more sellers. Right, so you're gonna have to be there at the PCAR event, right? He's gonna be teaching us how to do that again, another free event, and then also he'll be doing an after party here where we're gonna have some food and you'll be able to talk with him one-on-one. So it's a good opportunity to learn how to grow your business, and if you're looking to grow your EXP organization, grow your team, invite them to the event, invite them to the lunch afterwards, so that way they can meet with the speaker. What else we got? So our first speaker of today, we got a lot of speakers. Before I forget, you may have noticed these home buyer guides on the table. So if you're with the team or if you already have created these packets on your own, you're probably thinking, hey, I don't need one of these. There are a lot of agents out there who get value in these. These are things that you can put out on open houses where sellers will and buyers will have questions about, hey, like credit. So Allison, can you tell us just really briefly about the buyer guides?
Yeah, so it has, first of all, they can be branded to you guys individually. So if you want that, please text the team line, which is the 916-517-1800. It'll take me about a week to get it back to you. But I personally put them out at open houses when I go to them. And I found a lot of value in them. They talk about credit and what makes up a FICO score, which is a mystery to, I would say, probably 90% of the population. It talks about common terms because, as we know, the language we speak isn't necessarily always English. And then, it also has like a home tour checklist because sometimes, if you see 5 homes in a day, it's like, which one had the red garage, and they blend together and you forget which one is which. So there's a lot of things in here that I personally really like, and just gives your buyers information's power.
Any questions for Allison on the packet? Awesome. So you got an example of what you want. Again, that number, we threw it up there on the chat board or on the board, 916-517-1800.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. And then without further ado, we have our first speaker of the day, Miss Laura C. I'm just going to say Miss Laura C. Fancy last name. But Miss Laura C is back by popular demand because she was presenting on how to stay in touch with your sphere, how to provide more, how to do geographic farming. And we got a lot of requests that, hey, can she come back? And so here she is. So Miss Laura, please take it away.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for having me. So this is my second time here, so sorry if this is a bit repetitive, but it's worth listening to because it's an awesome product. So we're called Boomerang Direct Marketing, and basically we're an amazing way for you guys to stay top of mind with your sphere. It started here, I'm in Denver, so it started here about 13 years ago, actually with a team of real estate agents. And they were sending out the Bronco schedules and, the recipe cards, the stuff we did in the old days. And they wanted to up the game. So they came up with this awesome idea. What we do is partner with local businesses, primarily restaurants and sometimes events and activities. And every month we'll send your client something free from one of these local venues. So I don't know if you guys have Nothing Bundt Cakes out there, but that one's a hit here. On the front of the card.
Reason why I moved to Roseville.
Is it? So it says compliments of your name and company name on the front of the card. And then the back of the card has your photo, all of your contact information, a tagline, which is very important. So you can put a call to action. Some people like to put a QR code on there as well. That links them back to their, wherever really. We also can do a co-op. This is great if you guys are farming and you want to farm a large area, then you can co-op with a lender, or if you work in a team, it works great for that as well. Any questions so far? You good? Okay.
What are the minimums?
We'll save them for the end. These are all Denver offers because we have not launched out there yet. We're looking to launch out there. And when we do, of course, all the offers will be specific to your area. Okay. So out here, what's popular is ironically mad greens. I guess we're a healthy state. This one got a 17% usage rate and the goal of direct mail is 1%. So you can see like your clients love these. I can't talk about that more. I mean, they actually love getting high value stuff in the mail that they can redeem. We also did Six Flags out here. I don't know if you have one of those out there, but that was a hit. The downtown aquarium, I'm sure you have one of those. And then we even did free skiing here, but maybe out there it would be more in lines of free golf, like maybe 10 free holes at the local golf course. We do have coverage everywhere we have a dot. So I'm hoping to put one right there in Sacramento, coming soon. But if you do have buyers from out of state, you can always add them to your database as well. I'm going to skip this video because it's a little bit long, but every time I give a presentation where we have coverage, there's always 2 or 3 people that stand up and give an awesome testimonial, how it's the only marketing that your clients will actually thank you for. I can't tell you how many times I've heard this in the 11 years I've been with the company. What stands out about what we do is, if you think about mail, it's all white and usually bills and trash, right? So our mail is beautiful. I mean, bright colors, it's big. And what happens is they get the offer in the mail and then they put it in their car, and then your face rides around with them in the car until they either use it or they throw it away, which doesn't matter because then the next month they get another one. So basically what this guy says is he had a buyer call him actually to list their house after 8 years from working with him. And he knows for a fact the only reason they contacted him 8 years later is because he sent them Boomerang. And when he went to their house, Boomerang was on their refrigerator. So pretty cool. So it really does work. I can't elaborate that enough. Uh-oh. Nope, we don't want to hear you yet. Okay, here we go. Pricing. So the pricing is actually great. There's 2 options. A monthly mailing is 99 cents a card, and that's your only cost. Okay, that's your only cost. The other option is every other month, which is $1.09 per card. So 6 touches per year. That includes everything: postage, the offer, when your clients redeem the offer, it's everything. There are no minimums. So if you want to sign up and just put yourself on your database, you can do that. It would be 10 cents a month. There are no maximums as well. If you go over 1,000, it's 10 cents off per card. Okay. Now the numbers you see at the bottom, the 79 cents and the 89 cents, those are unmailed cards, meaning we'll mail them directly to your house, and then you can take them to open houses. You can take them door knocking. You can just leave them around your community, okay? If you want to sign up, please go to our website, create an account like today, because the more people we have signed up, the sooner we can launch your market area, okay? Signing up takes about 5 to 10 minutes. It's really easy. You're just going to upload your database in Excel or a CSV file, and then once we get a set number, we will go ahead and let you know, and we'll start launching in your market, okay? I'm going to send this out in an email to you guys. Maybe you can pass it out later, but you can also do a trial account. It's going to be a little bit hard to do a trial since we haven't launched there yet. So I recommend just creating an account. But if you do want to do the quick start, at least, I can send you a card. I can add you to my mailing list and send you a card every month. So that's an option there. That's me sleeping. If you all sign up, I can go take a nap. Sorry, that probably wasn't that funny. Okay.
How many people in the area have to sign up?
Yeah. Can you hear us?
We need,
Or can you hear
yes,
us?
2.5. I can. Can you hear me?
I can,
Yep.
sorry.
Okay. 2.5K in distribution. That's roughly 25 agents mailing out 100 cards each. Okay. So if I can get 25 of you on board, we can probably launch pretty soon. I'd say in the next couple of months. Okay. As far as deadlines,
500 a month. So
yeah.
You're just signing up to kind of be on a waiting list.
well, they have to launch it. So the reason, give some backstory, Laura, on this.
Mhm.
There's a company here that there's a brokerage locally that provides this. Crystal actually sent me in something from them and was like, hey, why don't we do something like this? And so I looked into it, and that local company has an exclusive agreement with Boomerang's direct competitor. So it's taken me actually a couple of years to find somebody that would even offer a similar service. But in order to provide it, they have to have at least 2,500 mailers going out a month in order for it to make sense for them to open up the market and contact the vendors and do all that. So we're trying to provide a direct competition to what another brokerage is offering. And so again, like Zenlist, the more people that do this, the better it is for all of us. So
But effectively, if we were to sign up, we're going on a waiting list until they get enough people.
correct. And there's no
Exactly.
money. They're not charging you. They're not charging you. Yeah.
Right. Yep, you'll just be in a holding pattern basically until we get that number, and then we'll let you know we're gonna launch. So make sure if you do want to get started to add your database in your billing, so then when we can launch, we can just, let you know it's gonna start. And we'll probably do a special before we launch too, and we'll let you know what that is. So it'll be good. I'll tell you that, okay? Anything
Any other
else, you
questions?
guys?
Just this for, ask for a promo code at the top of that.
So when we launch, there'll be something special, right?
Yep, we'll give you some incentive. I'll get that to you in the next week, maybe, but you can go ahead and start your account and you'll still get that special. Okay?
So the idea behind this is obviously, put your top 50, maybe your top 100 clients in there, that live locally, and then you just set it and forget it, right?
Yep. I
Right.
know once you guys try it, you're really gonna love it. The feedback from your clients is gonna just make you so happy. I wouldn't be doing this for so many years if I didn't hear that day in and day out, because it's really a cool, unique program, so. But
So just for Laura's benefit, who here is at least interested in the program? Okay, now, who here would keep your hand raised if you're interested in doing 50 cards a month? It's like $50 a month. Chad's like, I'll do it. Chad's a financial advisor. He's not even in real estate. People like coupons, yeah. So that's a good question, Laura. Does it have to be just real estate?
no, it can be anyone that has a reason to stay in front of their database.
So
So-
lenders can do it, financial advisors can do it,
Yeah.
anybody.
Yeah, we don't actively pursue them though. But if they find us, they can sign up.
Wonderful. Okay.
Yeah. Okay,
So I think we have enough hands raised in the room to get it started.
perfect. Yeah, you guys will like it. If you need anything else, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'll send out my information to y'all, and then I will keep you posted on when we're gonna launch, okay?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Laura. Any other questions for her before we let her go? She's got to get to her next meeting.
So
No?
we just like putting addresses in their name, and then they take it from there.
Yeah, so you create a profile. And so on the Made for More team, we would cover whatever mailers you wanted to do.
Yep.
Good question though, but yeah, we'll create a
All right.
profile. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Laura.
Thank you, guys. Have a great meeting.
All
Bye.
right, you too. Bye. All right, guys. Well, hey, that's exciting. So not only do we have one guest today, but we have two. The second guest comes highly recommended from Brent Gove. He's like, you need to get Deborah and her team in there as quickly as possible. Best of all, she's related to Tahoe Tony.
Tahoe Tony, my
So-
little brother.
Little brother. Awesome. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Stories there, but we'll do that later.
Well, we've all been having instances, and who's run into an insurance problem in the last 180 days? Okay. All right. Well, hopefully Deborah's here to help you with those problems. Deborah, go ahead. What do you have for us today?
Beautiful. Well, as you already know, Tahoe Tony's my little brother, and I have brought some other special people with me today. Roger Larson, who is Roger Larson Insurance Agency, and then our VP, Jeff Jensen. And so we work together as a team. We have a larger team behind us, and we'll get into all of that today. And we're gonna go ahead and that's us. That's part of our team. That's a huge photo. That's a great. I gotta think about this next time. All right. And then so we have a team. Everybody's highly trained. We all work together. Roger really runs this place like he's the head coach, and he wants us all to be the elite athlete. So it's awesome. It works for us. It works for us very well.
Let's see here, goals for today. I'll try to keep this kind of high level. We'll try to differentiate ourselves compared to all the other insurance agencies that are out there. We'll do a little education on the market. As you mentioned, a lot of people have California issues that they're dealing with. So we'll talk a little bit about the market and how we overcome that, our process, and we'll leave some time at the end for a little Q&A. I think this one. So who's TWFG? I don't want to spend too much time on this, but this kind of goes with the differentiation I mentioned. So with real estate, this happens a lot, right? Where you guys get franchises and then there's different branches of a franchise. So let's just say I started Roger Larson Insurance and I was going to go out and try to get all these appointments with Travelers and Safeco and Liberty Mutual. I could probably get about 5 or 6 or 7 to sign me up, just being me, right? One man shop. So in insurance, this is common and it's really makes a big difference. So we are part of a bigger cluster called the Woodlands Financial Group. That's what that stands for. They're based out of the Woodlands, Texas. They are, I believe, well, we have 10 on their privately held brokerages in the country. I think we're actually like 5th now. That might be an old stat, but there's about 500 locations across the country. I believe there's about 50 in California. We're the largest in California, excited about that. And I think we're 3rd or 4th now in the country in terms of a branch. But back to what I was saying a minute ago, if there's new markets that are coming in, which there is all the time, right? There's a new company, Heritage, that just came in last week that's writing in El Dorado Hills. If there's a new company that's writing insurance, we can get them like that within a week, right? We call our corporate office and we go, we need this carrier. And we have a huge conglomerate of agents that these insurance companies want to sign us up, right? We have that backing. So being able to compete with the biggest insurance agencies out there, the Heffernans and the Marshes and all those guys that you hear of corporate America, we can compete because we have all the market access going through. And that's really on the back end, which I'll get to maybe on the next slide if you want to go forward. Again, what kind of differentiates ourselves is you're still going to get that boutique feel. So you saw the picture, there's 30 of us in our office. Your clients are going to get, I know with real estate that's important, right? Relationship. They're going to get that boutique feel, personal touch. They're going to have one broker, it's Deb, and Deb's going to have one assigned relationship manager, meaning their customer service person, they call in, they talk to one person every time. So they're going to get a very boutique white glove feel. But again, on the back end, they don't really understand TWFG. They don't need to understand. They need to know that Deb Tuoto does a great job at her job, and that Larson Family Insurance Brokers exist. But on the back end is why TWFG gives us that differentiation. And then we're 100% referral based. I want to mention that. That's something we're super proud of. Company started back in 2010 when we founded, and we have never done any marketing. No offense to Boomerang, it was pretty cool. I might jump on that. But yeah, we don't do any cold calls. We are 100% referral based from people like yourself. And so we do that because we try to take that extra, I know it sounds cliche, but that extra customer experience is really what we pride ourselves on. So we say a lot with them. It's not, clients don't always remember what you said, but they'll always remember the way you made them feel, right? So we talk a lot about that in the office. But I would say those are our 2 biggest differentiators. It's just the fact that we have that market access to compete with the biggest brokerages, but they're still going to get the boutique feel. And then just the customer experience. I know it sounds cliche, but we really do try to go over the top.
Very much like EXP.
There you go.
I won't go into all these core values. We want you guys to kind of understand what we're about. Obviously, you want to do business with somebody you know, like, and trust. You guys know that as good as anybody. So I won't read all these, but again, you can see customer experience, teamwork. Yeah, I mentioned that. We're very team-oriented, integrity. We do things the right way. Try to play the long game, get better every day. Pretty standard core values there. We do preach.
Ultimately, what we want to do is we want to have one phone call for your clients, and they're not going to call State Farm that's not writing in California. They're not going to call Allstate that's not writing in California. They're not going to call Safeco Travelers Nationwide that's not writing in California. It's going to be one call, and having 300 carriers behind us, we're going to go source best solutions. And that solution could be in California. Does anybody do business outside of California? No, Tony's in Nevada, outside of California. So We have, I think it's 13 states. Tennessee just randomly during COVID, everybody started to escape to Tennessee, so we added that just to maintain clientele. But we have producers in Texas, we have producers in Arizona, so we got to go Texas
Hawaii.
west. Yeah, Hawaii is actually a different beast, like Florida and Louisiana, so we kind of stay away from it, but just to kind of give you scope, that will write in all these places. Next slide. So what do we do? So not everything is owner occupied, right? We have all different types. I heard somebody talking about tract homes, well, we have custom homes, there's also different type of homes that are out there. That are gonna be owner occupied, short-term rentals, you're gonna have landlord policies, so if you're investor clients, we're gonna be able to take care of everybody. So if it's gonna be an Airbnb or a VRBO, then we're gonna have solutions for it. Obviously, the primary home is going to be the number one. Does anybody do commercial here? 5 units or more? So if you ever run across anything like that, we'll have a full suite offering. If we do 5 units, 100 units, apartment buildings, strip malls, whatever the case may be. We're huge into commercial property as well. And that's where having 300 carriers really allows you to compete with the biggest brokerages out there. Is you have all of them they have, but they know everybody by a first name basis.
That short-term exposure, that's a big one. I think that people just don't know what they don't know, so if you've got owner occupied coverage or even a rental coverage for a long-term lease with insurance, that's 30 days or longer, FYI. So short-term, 30 days or shorter. So if somebody is running it out on Airbnb, they could have no coverage and not even know it.
Super good point. So get that client their Tahoe home and they end up renting it out. But this wasn't disclosed because in discovery, the agent they went on a Geico and they just bought something. Then they don't have that exposure. Litigation happens. They have no coverage. They're sued. It's 100% out of pocket. So we only work with A-rated carriers. And we'll talk a little bit more about this in the education portion. But there's a lot of exposures and not all policies are created equally. So make sure your clients are getting ready. Next slide.
High value too. A lot of these products, I guess we'll get into that in a sec, but specialize in high value homes, right? It's not the same carrier that writes the $300,000 dwelling that writes the $5 million, probably different product.
And we only write special form. So that's the full coverage. When somebody gets homeowners insurance, they're thinking of taking care of every aspect of their home, right? That's the kind of policy that we're gonna submit. There are agents, I'm sorry to say, that not with us, obviously, that go in and do a basic form or something that's a little undercut so that the quote looks really nice, but your client does not have care in that package. So we don't even offer something that's gonna be undervaluing the customer and their new home. Because when they go to sell it, then what happens? Okay. Oh, we're gonna go into actual cash value versus replacement cost.
You want to talk about that one? Go for it.
Yeah, so the other thing that happens that we see a lot of from other quotes is that the agent has offered an actual cash value. So my roof is 15 years old. The value of that roof is much less than if I had to put a brand new roof on there, right? Okay, so actual cash value is a much lower rated policy. So it looks good in front of the realtor and the lender because it's a lower rate. But the client, again, does not have coverage.
Takes into account depreciation, right? So you think of car insurance, that's a good example of ACV. As soon as you drive off the lot, that car just went down, what, 10 grand? That car's total, are they giving you the cost that you paid when you bought it? No, they give you the cost that it's worth at the time of the accident. You don't want that for home insurance. Don't mix auto with your home. Auto, well, they tell you
Yeah.
said that wrong, but you know what I mean, in terms of a coverage standpoint, your home should always be full replacement. Your house burns down, go to Costco, get yourself a brand new TV, a brand new couch, right? Don't take that 15-year depreciated roof and get, pennies on the dollar. What's that?
You can't buy a 15-year-old.
No, yeah, that's a good point. The
Not
thing they would
here.
give you would be, give you replacing 90% of it yourself. So, we do try to educate, and some people are just super about the dollars. And so, our job is to really just give people options. and recommend and educate and hope that they choose what's best for them and their family. Ultimately, we all know it's their choice, but
And while meeting the lender's needs, right? Because we want them to be able to afford that house.
I'm not gonna go through all these coverages, but I will point out another one. Jeff mentioned we do a lot of rental properties, investment stuff. And I mentioned about that short-term rental exposure. Personal injury, I see this all the time, right? Again, you had a home, maybe they upgraded and they're moving to their new home and they ended up renting out their old house and they forgot to update that insurance. And so it's still written as an owner occupied. If they are sued for, let's say, wrongful termination or eviction, excuse me, wrongful eviction, which even if you didn't pay your rent for 6 months in the state and you go to evict them and you've got all the paperwork that says this tenant never paid her rent for 6 months, shame on you, and we evict her, who's to say she couldn't come back and sue, right? And where's the laws in California? Are they on our side as the landlord or on Deborah's side as the tenant? Way facing, if you're going to court, I'm screwed unless you got good insurance. Maybe different in Texas, but California not so much. So if you don't have this rider, personal injury to protect you from tenant disputes, again, wrongful eviction, invasion of privacy. I didn't give Deborah enough time before I went over to her house. There's laws around that. Tenant selection. I didn't pick Deborah because she's Italian. I don't know, you know, right? All those type of tenant disputes, you don't have coverage for unless you've got a landlord policy. So just little things like that.
And I know it may not seem very important about the policy that we're writing for them, but we're also in communication with them. We're checking in with them as well, and to make sure that everything is it needs to be. Do you have more children now? Do we need to make sure that we have all the life coverage? The autos are all cared for, everything's together. We're in communication with you. Because, hey, George, I just spoke to George. George is looking to move. Did you know that? You know, that type of thing. So it's a symbiotic relationship. We're going both ways.
I lied. I said I was only gonna do one. I'm gonna point out two more quick ones. I think they're good education. I promise I'll be quick. Service line in this market, I'll preface it by saying in California right now, most of these companies are probably not gonna offer a lot of this. In a regular market, which we'll get to in a sec, hopefully 25 starts getting back to normal. That's a really cool new endorsement that's been optional for the last year or two. So from the main line to the house, right? Utility lines, sewer, water, gas, electric, whatever it may be. If that breaks under the ground because it's old, because the house was built 40 years ago, or because there's a root, see that all the time, tree roots grow through that, or there's an animal that's chewing up the pipes. Do you think insurance typically covers that? No. Homeowner maintenance, they'll cover water and fire damage and all this stuff, all the different perils on a home. But if it's underneath the ground in the front of the backyard, they've never traditionally covered that. This new rider, like $20 a year, 30,
Yeah,
40 bucks,
barely that,
50
yeah.
bucks a year. And they'll actually get offers in the mail. Your clients may ask you from like some of the utility districts. They'll send them, hey, if you pay $10 a month, we'll cover your line. A lot of the water.
Yeah.
But you can build it into your insurance on a normal market. So that's a good one to point out. Ordinance or laws, the last one I'll point out for these ones that we're pretty new builds around here, a lot of tract homes and stuff. But if you get to like the city, San Francisco, or some of the Bay Area stuff where it's built in the 50s, if you don't have this, then you are paying out of pocket for all of the code upgrades. So let's say we're in Placer County, right? They need fire sprinklers on all new construction. I think they do. Solar panels required yet? I know in the Bay Area, there's solar required for all new construction. So if your house didn't have that before and it burns down and you go to rebuild, is the city of Placerville going to say, you don't need fire sprinklers? No, they're going to make you pay all the upgrades. So if you don't have this, you're paying out of pocket for all of the upgrades.
Also, like, that also is big in the Tahoe area, right? How many ordinances are they passing all the time? What, you know, it could be that house was built with a green wire and now they want that wire to be purple, and that purple wire costs 5 times as much. So we're gonna take, oh, let's be there. Go ahead.
Just last thing, so your sellers buy a home warranty for 1 year for that new buyer. It's typically a seller obligation. So let's just understand quickly, insurance is for sudden and accidental. A tree fell on my house, somebody slipped and fell and then sued me, right? My house caught on fire. These are all sudden and accidental things. This is not a home warranty, right? My fridge broke. get a new fridge. If it's in that first year, well, your warranty, right? And then they can maintain that if they want. But from an educational perspective, warranty, it's homeowner maintenance. Okay, if something is old, you need to replace it. Right? My fence is old, get a new fence. My roof is old, get a new roof. This is about something that happens. Right? So a lot of what we just talked about, personal injury, it's a common cause for lawsuits and a common miss. So we want to protect our customers. We don't want to bombard them with a big overload policy, but we want to cover them for what happens most often.
And in that note, we also educate them. They call us before they make a claim. Because did you know, have you ever gone to sell a house and it has water claims on it? Have you tried to find insurance on that house? Those stay with the house. That's great. It just happened yesterday. That's crazy. So we educate them. Don't put that $1,000 water claim on your house. It's gonna affect you. Okay, so we're there for that in between.
The wind ever blows down a fence, please don't have them file it there. It's a shared fence, 50% is on the neighbor, it just doesn't make sense. To Deb's point, don't follow that homeowner around for 3 to 5 years, no matter where they move. It's tied to a clue report that's got their name and date of birth and a database that every insurance company pulls from. Anyway,
So it's gonna affect their loans, gonna affect their.
I'm saying don't
Super,
follow.
super quick topic. So we're brokers, right? We represent the client before the insurance company. Client is first, right? If you have Geico, you have zero representation. And if you have State Farm Farmers, then State Farm Farmers are first and the client is second. Okay, that means we're allowed to have off-record conversations. If they call about a claim, we can advise. We don't tell people what to do. We advise and then allow them to make a decision. So that's very important in the tier and who's represented first versus calling my agent that then has responsibility for making a claim for me. And you just made a wind claim for $2,000 and your rates went up for 5 years and you got $500 back.
And nowadays you're non-renewed, something like that.
In this market.
I'm sort of the point, make sure you guys understand. There's 3 ways to buy insurance. You just said them. Direct, online, through a captive company. And again, that person represents that one company. If I'm a AAA agent, I represent AAA, not my client. State Farm represents State Farm, not my client, or independent brokerage. It's the future of insurance. We're biased, but future of insurance is independent, right? We represent our client, not the insurance company. Good point.
So you're like a buyer's broker
Ah,
in real estate.
Okay.
So
nicely done, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tahoe, Tony.
Representing their interests.
It's
Circle, I like
Yeah.
that.
perfect.
Next slide. Okay, so.
Yeah.
So you got.
Everybody backs.
I'm stepping back.
So this will be educational because this is happening. First off, if all your clients are getting because they're buying in Auburn is Fair Plan or Granite Bay is Fair Plan. There's other options out there. It shouldn't only be Fair Plan. Are we writing a lot of Fair Plan right now?
Yep.
Absolutely. Way too much Fair Plan. Hopefully that will change come 2025. Is what Department of Insurance is anticipating. But still it's happening.
Why would that change in 2025?
More carriers are taking rate increases, so everybody in this room plan on your insurance rates going up. Mine are up, yours are gonna go up, your neighbors are all going up. And they're getting those rate increases, they're giving them those rate increases because they have to apply for them through the Department of Insurance here in Sacramento. And so they will come back to market. Because they're saying, we're losing money, we don't want to write. Give us our rate increases. Right? And so they're getting rate increases with the goal of coming back.
And Fair Plan was just never set up to handle as much as what's going on right now. So the state needs those big carriers to come back, and it's still gonna be brutal.
Well, it's definitely impacting values and prices.
Yes, yeah. And how do these first-time home buyers get the loan, right?
How can consumers deal with these radical rate increases? No expectation of them coming down. So when you come into the Cal Fair, now you're at $8,000 a year, which is insane. Now the insurance companies they don't want to relinquish those new rates.
It's going to be a challenge, and your clients that don't have a fire hydrant, you know, within 1,000 feet of their property, their rates are going to be high.
Insurance gets a bad rap, so we see it from both views, right? We're in the middle here, we see it from the carrier's view, because they come to us and they show us, so State Farm just pulled out of California, 45,000 homes they're non-renewing.
32,000 apartments.
Okay, why do you think they would do that? If they were making money, would they do that? Would Warren Buffett just exited mass exodation? You guys probably know Berkshire Hathaway, I think they do real estate as well. Big insurance department, he just non-renewed and exited the state big time. He was making money, would Warren Buffett leave? He would not leave the state.
Well, a combination of the insurance and utilities, PG&E is just, it's getting.
Everything is going up. It's global inflation, right?
insane.
So I don't want to get into all the whys this rate's going up. That could be a 25-minute conversation. We're happy to maybe do some Q&A on that, but they show us their financials. State Farm is, for every $100 they collect, they're paying at 130 right now. They have 130% loss ratio in the state. No business owner is going to do that, right? This makes sense. So they have to get rate adequate so they can come back in, and then we'll have supply and demand again. Because right now we don't have supply and demand. It's California Fair Plan, and we need to get into some of the other markets that we have that are solutions. But again, there's no Econ 101. There's no supply and demand right now. It's very slim pickings. But to go back to why
Are so high as well.
I mean, everything is going up, right? Inflation. So I don't want to get into all the reasons, but just think about it. If the materials and labor costs every time there's a construction claim is, I don't know, was it $20,000 to do your kitchen before COVID, and now it's 45,000 for that same kitchen? I don't know, whatever the number is, right? There's a huge multiplier that has gone up. Every time there's an insurance claim, who is that passed through to? They're the ones paying the contractors and the materials and the labor and the lawsuits. You know, it gets passed through to them. So I see both sides of it. Trust me, I'm a consumer like you. My rates are going through the roof as well. But I keep telling my clients, rate increase is good. We need to get fair markets opening again in the state, and they're not going to do it. They're leaving in mass exodus if they don't have the right rate.
And that's what we do.
I would say climate, I mean, the whole climate thing is just crazy. They can't, insurance is all about modeling, right? So it's statistics. And if you look at prior California like claims, it doesn't match up. The last 5 years, we've had more record-setting fires than like 100-year databases show. Was it not last winter? I guess it was 2 winters ago when we all had all the floods. We've never seen water damage to that extent. I mean, it was crazy, right? So I don't know if it's climate control or what's going on, but they can't model like they used to. And there's a lot of catastrophic losses.
So Jeff's going to talk about some of the options we have going on to avoid that. I'm sorry, I see you have
Well, we are going to do questions at the end, but Tony, quick one.
You talked about if you're close to a fire hydrant and have lower rates, what else, if we're showing property, can we mention to our clients that's gonna help them with their insurance?
So stucco doesn't burn as quickly as wood. Okay, so it's going to be, you're going to pay less. Tile roof. If anybody has wood chip roof, just don't plan on getting insurance. Let me ask her that. I say this to every client because it's half my conversation. I can't get insurance. There isn't a home in the state of California that we can't insure. Okay, 10,000 square feet, it's 1,000 square feet. It's tenant occupied, it's owner occupied, whatever. We'll source best solutions for our clients. So it's not about if we're going to find coverage. You're not going to call us and not get a quote. How many quotes you get is the question. Now it's supply and demand, right? If there's 10, then your price is going to be a lot lower than if there's 1. Not having trees hanging over the roof, brush around the home that could catch it on fire. Proximity to brush, right? I live right around the corner. And 5 minutes down the road, there's a lot more brush in Granite Bay. Right? No problem getting insurance, Right? So then move towards Auburn, you're in the brush. Right? Some likelihood of loss. How much is earthquake insurance up here? Pennies. Go to San Francisco, what's earthquake insurance? So what's the likelihood of that loss happening? Within 5 miles of a fire station, within 1,000 feet of a fire hydrant, And then how flammable is your property would be majors. And then
A year built probably is a factor now too. A lot of these companies say if it's built more than 40 years old, they just don't want it to.
any new construction,
Always a
2000, any new construction, all the tract homes, they have 10-year builder warranties, so water, which is the #1 cause of loss. Most of it's gonna go on the builder if they didn't build it properly. So all that new construction is gonna be very, very low cost. If you have a cost sensitive customer, that loan to value ratios are gonna be an issue. Well, we'll work with that loan to value problem, but you're gonna get that cost way down because it's gonna be stucco, it's gonna be a tile roof, it's gonna be.
Fire sprinklers.
Yeah.
2 entrances.
But
I
I do
wanna
want to
highlight
this.
on this.
Yeah, I was gonna start off by just saying, again, we're biased. If you didn't want to use Larson Family Insurance, use broker. Don't, if you guys are not telling your clients to call an independent broker, you're setting your escrow process up for delays and issues. If they're calling around online or they're calling around to State Farm or Farmers, they're all closed. You're gonna have, or should say that State Farm and Farmers have California Fair Plan. That's what they're gonna send your client. And that may be what we send the client, but there's also a 50 or 60% chance in El Dorado Hills, if it's in a certain area, we got markets for it. In Auburn, there's markets. In Tahoe, there's markets outside of the Fair Plan. Because we're brokers, they're not gonna be your Nationwides and your Progressives and your Liberty Mutuals that you see all over TV. They're gonna be different carriers, but they are A-rated. And this is a last choice option. California Fair Plan is a last resort. We'll go there when we have to, and as Jeff said, we use it too much, but there is options. If your clients are not talking to a broker, whether it's us or somebody else, expect delays on the insurance.
Why do they call it California Fair? A lot of people that play with that.
It's a good name.
Fair Plan.
When you
So-
talk about A-rated, what does that mean?
Yeah, that's a good question. So this is a financial solvency. So what liabilities do they have on the books? Right? They're holding 50 million in potential losses. And what are our revenues as a company to be able to pay that?
So likelihood of being able to file a claim and get your money.
Yep, financial strength.
So this is all public information. You can look up any company, right, on S&P, and it'll tell you what they are. A big one was State Farm recently just downgraded their financials.
So what my clients like to hear is, the State Farm, the Farmers, they're admitted carriers, right? The admitted carriers are pulling out. So the admitted carriers, if Farmers covered every home in San Francisco and then San Francisco burnt down, Farmers would not have the finances to pay out all those policies. The state steps in and says, here's a little bit, not much, but there's a little bit more that's going on. That happened quite often in the Nevada, the Napa fires with some of the B-rated non-admitted carriers, okay? We do work with non-admitted carriers, but we only work with the A-rated. So those non-admitted carriers will say, you know what, we love your home in Granite Bay, but we're already covering too many homes in Granite Bay, so we're not going to offer you coverage in Granite Bay. Okay, so it could be that I get you a quote and next week that carrier shuts that area down. So it behooves all of us to be very efficient and effective as we roll through the process.
What's the magic number percentage wise? Is it 20% of an area like Granite Bay or
Saturation.
40 or?
I call it a carrier appetite thing there. Some carriers will be more aggressive than others. It's a really good question. I don't know if there's a straight percentage. I think some carriers will be more aggressive than others. But saturation, that's what insurance is. It's spreading that spray by definition. So they don't want
Like a HOA or like a lender policy, they'll only allow so many renters within a certain building.
Yeah.
The same thing, they're trying to mitigate risk, so I'm sure they've got a magic number that like.
For sure they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll share with us, but they definitely have one. Yeah.
These are all for-profit companies, right? So if you have your company and you don't make money selling widgets, you're gonna stop selling widgets. Right? You're gonna focus on some other product line. But let's focus on main thing here. So here's 2 photos, same property, and this is what we might come back to you guys with. If we have to go California Fair Plan, they're very picky and they're not efficient. Okay, they're not good at their jobs. So we're gonna be very, very specific with what we need. So we're gonna go to the buyer's agent or listing agent, and we're gonna say, here's what we need. We need to get this escrow closed in 14 days. How do we do it? So I need 5 photos. See how the 3-1-2-1, we can all see that on the side of the building?
Yeah.
Can you see it on this one? declined. You're not closing in 14 days.
Jeff's point, usually the buyers are not doing these pitches. We're usually talking to real estate agents because they're like, talk to my agent. I don't know what you're asking for.
I grabbed both of these off of Zillow. Anything off of Zillow, they will decline. Okay, so if I just go, we used to be able to just go on to Google Maps, boom, snip it and be done, right? Doesn't work anymore. So we need pictures within the last 5 or 7 business days. Sometimes we can get around that one with you guys send out your professional, cameraman to take all the photos and they're not online. We can grab those. But essentially high level, we need 5 photos. One that shows that, one from each side of the building, whole building in each photo.
And if the address is not on the structure, they'll take it if it's on a mailbox or a rock or a sign.
The house.
But it has to have the actual numeric, right? If it's 123 Main Street, they have to see 123, or they'll just automatically
So
find
why
it.
was the picture on the last tonight?
You can't see the number.
There's no address.
But if those were submitted together as a group, they would be accepted.
Yes. But the reality is, if we submitted these two, it would not be, because we pulled these off of Zillow. So if it's already on the real estate listing, there,
To his point. If it's on a mailbox 100 yards away, take a picture of the mailbox, big greenhouse. Okay. So they just,
A lot of times the address is like at the start of the driveway.
yeah, exactly.
we're gonna try to,
But
we're
we,
trying to tell them a story. Right? I want you to dumb it down as far as you possibly can to tell that story. And not give them a bunch of credit that they know exactly what they're doing. We need to prove to them that this is the house.
it's the truth.
We do a video.
No,
Okay,
because
you
they'll,
have to upload this stuff, so.
they only accept this much data, but they want,
They might want to-
So
They-
I had a client who had to deal with this evidence with a buyer, and they wouldn't take anything that's on Zillow or on the LLS. It had to be done through their app, the insurance company app, and the buyer we had to go back because he forgot to do their inspection. So he had to go back, take pictures of the house through the app so they could geotag it, that they would know that it was originally from his phone and at that location.
That seems like a post-inspection thing, different companies are insurance. Yeah, different companies are gonna have different, inspection requirements where, their plan is gonna set out.
doesn't either.
Most companies just set out at the party that goes out there, takes photos of the exterior, unless it's high value and they go on the interior. But some companies now in this tech age, they say you need to go through our app and take photos of your panels, right? What kind of breakers do you have? You have fuses. Cancel. Right, nobody wants fuses. And then there's some different Sylvania and Federal Pacific that just cause fires, so they don't want. Let's go to the next and we'll continue on, and then we'll have Q and A at the end.
The only thing I would add to that last one is for timing. So fair plan, Jeff mentioned, they're not efficient. Again, if you're waiting till days before escrow, you're gonna have problems. So on a best case scenario, 5 days, Jeff.
On a really good submitted app, and they can find
First
everything.
try, 5 days, probably best case scenario. Give yourself a couple weeks, guys, on fair plan.
If you think there's gonna be an issue and you're listing the property, we reach out to you to get a quote before it's even on the market? Or how long are these quotes good for?
Yeah, you can get a fair plan quote because I can definitely do that to give you an idea, but what we have the options to run it through other carriers.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want to avoid fair plans.
How long are they good for?
30 or 45 days,
Okay,
depending upon the carrier.
okay,
So we don't like to quote anything that's outside escrow.
okay.
Right? Because what you have, depending upon the climate, you have 45 offers, and you're representing a buyer, and they're gonna take 10 offers before they get an offer accepted.
Mhm.
So we don't like to do that. We'd be out of business because it's very hot. You're the listing agent.
Yeah.
We'll support you guys as a listing agent. Don't tell every listing agent.
Stop the recording. Stop the recording. Yeah.
So we'll support the listing agents. But like I said, there's never a case where you're not gonna find coverage. It's not a case where you're not gonna find coverage. Unless, yeah, even if like crazy scenarios that you can come up with, we're still going to we have backups to backups. So I know there's a cost concern for some clients.
Yep.
Which is when you would do what she said, the fair plan. So that's usually what we'll do. If a client comes to us and says, hey, I'm not in escrow, I want a ballpark. Then Deb would go to fair plan and just do it quick. She's not gonna shop because the problem is all these underwriters need a bunch of work and stuff. And if they know that the client's not in escrow, they're not gonna go through all of their weekly processes. But if you just say, I need a high level estimate to see if my client can afford this, Deb would basically send you the worst case scenario. Here's fair plan. Hopefully, if you get into escrow, let us know. And Johnny will shop this with the other 15 markets and hey, look, Bamboo took this one. But we'll give you a high level kind of quick, this is worst case scenario.
And it's, it also depends on the client, so we need the birth date and the prior address and all that, because it's all
They
rated.
have three
Like
clients.
flu, yeah.
On condo.
Maybe
did
they
you
have a
say
water claim.
One photo, fair plan condo.
Fair plan condo, we need a picture of the front door and a picture of the address looking at the building, same type of situation.
Condo is not as many photos as a single family.
Thank you.
So,
Right. Yeah. So the only, to request a quote, you're just gonna go ahead and email me with the client's legal name, their date of birth, obviously, their new location address, and let me know if it's primary, is it a landlord situation, is it a second home? Because those are all different kind of coverages. The other thing that's very helpful with quite a few of the carriers is if I have their current address and how long they've been there. It just helps the rate for them on that, okay?
The two to discuss. We support a lot of realtors and a lot of lenders. Financial advisors. But with the realtors, what do you want to do? What do you want the client experience to be? A lot of them will just say, hey, this is Deb. Deb, meet Julie. And Deb will take it from there. She'll acknowledge receipt, move you to BCC, and then take care of the whole process with your client. Maybe you say, don't move me to BCC, keep me involved. I'd love to see all the back. Or you say, I feel very confident with insurance. Send it to me, I'll present and explain and sell this for you.
So ultimately, guys, we're grateful to be here and these are your clients. We get that.
Yeah.
And everyone's gonna be different. There's gonna be someone that's gonna say, Tahoe's gonna say, hey, Tony, I'm too busy. Jeff, take it. I got a million things on my plate. I don't want to deal with insurance. Cool. We love that. We'll run it. We'll make you look good. And insurance will be handled. You don't have to think about it. Johnny may say, hey, I handled this client. I don't want you touching this guy. I want to be the guy that takes the insurance quote and presents it. And that's cool. Johnny gets the quote. We'll give him all the education he needs and he can take it to his buyer. So we respect it's your client and whatever you guys want to do, we'll work with you guys. Ultimately, we're just thankful to be part of it.
When clients call in for a quote, is it advisable to advise the client to get also an auto quote for multi-discount?
Typically always, right? Typically always, you're gonna say 15 to 25% depending upon the carrier. And there's some carriers that will only do bundled business. Right, so you source from a larger market. In this climate, you're gonna be, pay your bills, everybody, pay your bills. Because if you don't pay your bill, you're gonna get dropped and you might not find auto insurance. You're gonna go to a company you don't wanna buy auto insurance.
But yes, we do offer auto insurance and it's getting tougher and tougher. And then there are carriers that are offering a discount. But I do talk to them about all their insurance because they're moving. They need to update whatever auto insurance that they have. And I'll speak with them at their best route. Because
Always
maybe
options.
our quotes, super high. You never know. So, but I'm honest, we're honest with them. We're not gonna bring them over to say 200.
It's always option A, for sure. We can bundle it, you're gonna save. So, in closing, I have here quarterback. We're big 49er fans. Rock Purdy, use that word a lot. We'll quarterback the deal in escrow, meaning there's different parties. You guys quarterback, that's what realtors really do, right? You pull all these different vendors and people together and you manage that whole process. We'll do that from the insurance perspective. There's a title company. Obviously, there's a lender usually involved. There's a client. What invoice title company, get it paid in full through closing on any new purchase transaction, so client doesn't have to worry about cutting any payments. Especially with, like you said, there could be a loan to debt income ratio stuff, and they don't want to mess with the credit. So everything is dealt with on our end, with the title company, with the client, with the lender, it's kind of seamless.
It should be really seamless and great working with Tony. Not all realtors are creative people. So so that's what I would say. But it makes it smooth. How many of my lenders go, thank you, whenever I have to deal with Geico, it's just a nightmare. We'll take care of everything. We calendar everything. We're very specific on process. And the reason why we're so proud of being 100% on referrals, we're very high volume. And it's all people telling people. That's all it is. So we hope that we're doing some things right to get to that point.
Do you kind of feel that Jeff would make sure that things are good? Is that feeling? Yeah. I just play nice in the end.
Any
So we did
questions?
have, we had good questions. What about other questions?
I know we're running a little long on time. Jennifer?
Get access to the slides.
Absolutely.
I was maybe gonna offer, I don't know, Johnny, would you want to do like an email intro with Deb, so they have her email? It's like a mass email group that we could.
Yeah.
CC on.
Yeah, yeah, let's do that, because I'm just trying to think how we would do it. So everybody that's on the Realtor Huddle?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll do, everybody that signed up to be at these meetings, we'll get an email with your contact.
Okay,
info.
okay.
So just make sure we get it, when we have the slide deck now, so we'll just. Yeah,
Hey,
Jose.
before everyone leaves real quick, this was a pleasant surprise for me. I actually didn't know they were coming in. But you guys have handled our insurance the last 5 years and our 7 cars and our properties.
So,
Very happy.
Oh, wow.
So I thought I'd just let you guys know, I thought I'd let them just share with it, but my 2 cents is they're high quality. You guys as agents should definitely put them in your book.
Awesome,
very
thank you.
We actually
He's a hire, he's a paid actor, he's a paid actor. All right.
please take snacks home with you.
Yeah, there's
So that-
snacks in the yard or in the cafe.
Yeah, they-
All right, guys, we'll see you at PCAR next week. Buy online.